Kathleen Kennedy just did something that might finally push Star Wars fans over the edge, and it's all because of Critical Drinker. After he passionately defended George Lucas' original vision, Kennedy's reaction wasn't just shocking, it's sparking a massive debate about the future of Star Wars. What exactly did Critical Drinker say to set her off, and why is Kennedy so desperate to leave Lucasfilm on a win that it could ruin the franchise for good? In this video, we're diving into the chaos from her rumored clashes over the Acolyte to Disney's staggering losses, and why George Lucas' legacy is more important than ever. If you think things couldn't get worse for Star Wars, think again. Stay tuned to see how this might be Kathleen Kennedy's final act and the fallout it could bring for Disney, Lucasfilm, and fans everywhere. Kathleen Kennedy has taken a bold step that might forever alter the Star Wars saga, and it's causing quite the uproar among fans. After YouTuber Critical Drinker publicly stood up for George Lucas' original vision for the franchise, Kennedy's response has sparked heated debates across the fanbase. What exactly did Critical Drinker say that provoked such a reaction, and why is George Lucas' influence suddenly dominating the conversation again? Could this be Kennedy's final move at Lucasfilm, or is she planning one last shocking twist before stepping down? The situation reveals just how tense things have become at Lucasfilm. Fans have long been critical of Kennedy's leadership, accusing her of dismantling the beloved franchise that George Lucas built with care over 4 decades ago. Once a symbol of hope and inspiration for countless fans, Star Wars has become a shadow of its former self, and many point to Kennedy as the main cause of its decline. Just when it seemed like the saga couldn't get any worse, rumors suggest a major shakeup. Kathleen Kennedy might be preparing to leave Lucasfilm, a moment many fans have been eagerly awaiting. But don't celebrate just yet, there's a catch. Insiders hint that before she departs, Kennedy is determined to secure a final victory that will define her legacy. However, with Star Wars in its current state, achieving such a goal might be nothing short of impossible. According to industry voices like Chris Gore, Kennedy's ambitious exit strategy feels more like wishful thinking than a realistic plan. It's a last-ditch effort to rewrite her narrative, but is it too little, too late? Kathleen Kennedy's leadership appears trapped in a cycle of her own making, a self-perpetuating quest for a final triumph that continues to elude her. According to Chris Gore, a respected voice in the industry, this isn't just speculation, it's Kennedy's calculated approach to her exit strategy. Her departure isn't merely about stepping down, it's about ensuring she leaves on her own terms, cementing a legacy that many argue has been riddled with controversy and missteps. Her vision for Star Wars has faced sharp criticism over the years, often accused of prioritizing ideological messaging over the storytelling and character depth that originally captivated audiences. Fans, both male and female, feel alienated by the changes under her watch, which seem more focused on delivering statements than creating memorable narratives. Now, as she pushes to retire with the win, this attempt feels more like a desperate bid for validation, perhaps a recognition of the mistakes that have plagued her tenure. Take The Acolyte, one of her recent projects, as an example. For many fans, it's yet another misstep that highlights just how far Star Wars has drifted from its roots. If you've seen it, you might recognize that sinking feeling, the realization that the magic of Star Wars may never return. But this isn't just about a galaxy far, far away. Kennedy's influence has extended beyond Star Wars, with Tolkien's iconic Middle-earth also feeling the weight of what fans call woke revisionism. The upcoming Lord of the Rings projects are already sparking concern, raising alarms that the essence of Tolkien's legacy may be at risk. Fans are left wondering if the creative teams behind these adaptations even care about the original spirit of the stories, or if they're more interested in pushing agendas that alienate the very people who made these franchises legendary. It's as though the writers and producers are on a mission to antagonize the core fan bases that have sustained these universes for decades. Instead of honoring the heart of what made these worlds so beloved, they seem to be creating content that disregards what audiences actually want. This disconnect between creators and fans grows wider with every new release, leaving these once great franchises struggling to reclaim their former glory. The pattern couldn't be clearer. Creators like Kathleen Kennedy and major studios seem to prioritize their agendas over what the fans actually want, ignoring the consequences of their decisions. But here's the real question: where are the consequences for those at the top? Kennedy has been at the helm of Lucasfilm since 2012, and despite years of poorly received projects and critical backlash, she remains untouchable. Disney, under Bob Iger's leadership, keeps renewing her contract as though her failures don't exist. How can someone oversee the mishandling of a $4 billion franchise and still hold on to their job? It's no surprise that fans are losing patience. Kennedy's leadership has not only alienated the Star Wars audience, but has also given rise to outspoken critics like Critical Drinker and Nerdrotic. These creators aren't afraid to call out the problems with the franchise and speak for fans who feel unheard. Their voices resonate with audiences because they aren't spinning the narrative, they're telling the truth no matter how uncomfortable it may be. But instead of engaging with this criticism, Kennedy doubles down. Her continued support for polarizing projects like The Acolyte shows a refusal to listen to fans or adapt to the franchise's roots. Insiders have even reported growing tensions between Kennedy and showrunner Leslie Headland, particularly over the battle to secure a second season for The Acolyte from Disney and Bob Iger. If this happens, many fear it could be the final straw for Star Wars. This feels less like a creative endeavor and more like watching a ship sink in slow motion. Lucasfilm, Disney, and even Amazon with its handling of The Lord of the Rings seem to have entirely lost sight of what made these franchises iconic in the first place. Instead of giving audiences the magic and storytelling they cherish, these companies are operating like a tone-deaf fast food chain, telling customers, "We don't care if you like our burgers or fries, we're here to make statements with our food." The absurdity of this approach is staggering. Fans don't come to these franchises for political statements or social agendas. They come because they love the stories, the characters, and the worlds they've grown up with. But rather than deliver what people want, these creators seem intent on antagonizing their own audience, and when the inevitable backlash comes, they deflect blame. It's not their fault, it's the fans' fault for not understanding their vision. The numbers, however, tell a different story. Declining viewership, dwindling box office returns, and the sharp decline in merchandise sales all point to the same issue: the fans are walking away. Instead of admitting their mistakes, these creators continue down the same path, dragging beloved franchises further into obscurity. Disney's financial losses are staggering $4 billion down the drain in streaming alone. It's the ultimate proof that their hate-your-core audience strategy is failing spectacularly. Yet, instead of recalibrating, they keep funneling money into doomed projects, seemingly hoping for a miracle. It's baffling that billion-dollar corporations are being run by people so out of touch with their audience. Meanwhile, the fans, the everyday people who actually care about these franchises, can see the disaster unfolding from a mile away. We recognize the mess and the arrogance that's making it worse. Even cultural satire like South Park saw this disaster coming years ago. Remember that iconic episode where Cartman stole the election to save Star Wars from Disney? It's eerily accurate in hindsight. The absurdity of it all is almost funny if it weren't so tragic for fans who love these stories. In contrast, creators like The Critical Drinker are thriving because they're offering something Disney and Kathleen Kennedy seem to have forgotten: real, honest entertainment. It's ironic, isn't it? A YouTuber is producing content more engaging and insightful than the films Kennedy has overseen in years. If you haven't already, subscribing to creators like The Critical Drinker isn't just about supporting a voice of reason, it's a small rebellion against the mediocrity Disney is serving up. It's no wonder Kennedy might even feel a twinge of jealousy. While her films are dismissed as dull and uninspired, voices like Critical Drinkers gain loyal followings by simply telling the truth. These creators are filling the void left by corporate storytelling, delivering critiques, humor, and genuine passion for the franchises we grew up with. This is why fans can't afford to stay silent. We need to support those who stand against the propaganda and corporate agendas dominating these beloved franchises. What fans want is art, real art, crafted with heart, vision, and respect for the audience. Instead, we're being handed soulless creations churned out by corporate drones more focused on advancing their narratives than delivering compelling stories. George Lucas built Star Wars with passion and care. Under Kennedy, it's become a hollow shell of what it once was, but maybe, just maybe, we can fight to bring it back. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the bell so you never miss an update. And drop a comment, do you think it's too late for Lucasfilm? Let me know your thoughts below.